ki chunyen ki pe sunam ki rola penchir sangye drupar sho chedang so ki chonam la chanchu pardu dagni kapsu chi dagi chunyen ki pe sunam ki rola penchir sangye drupar sho shogi shmogi. Sure pas dali. Доброе утро. Okay, welcome to the term. I'm sorry this orientation took place during our first class. It's kind of strange. I wish I'd known about it, but okay. I'd like to welcome Ina from France and Ukraine. She's here on the IDM thing. No, she's here on herself.
Oh yeah, she's not on the IDM.
Okay, good.
She's participating as is.
Yeah, and we're hoping that she will work to translate the books that we translate from English into French and Russian. At least Russian. And Ukrainian. Are you good in Ukrainian?
Yes.
Okay, good. Like perfect?
Yes.
Good. Okay. Well, that'll be cool. And I'd like to welcome Vivian Wong, who's in charge of. She's in charge of our Guangzhou DCI team. And she's the one who took me to China for the first time. She came to Hong Kong and tied me up. And we wouldn't have anything going in China without her. So I'd like to thank her. And she's on the board of Diamond Mountain. And a lot of the success of Diamond Mountain is because of her. So I'd like to thank her. And she'll be having an earphone after today, but apparently something went wrong today. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. So, and I think it's good if we have as many people as we can, like Ina and Vivian, because what we do here is amazing, and I think it affects how you teach DCI or how you teach ACI or how you do retreats. And it's, I don't know, for my life, to be thinking about these texts all day has changed my whole life. Like how I just do my work every day, how I relate to people. All these texts are floating around my head all the time, and it's incredible. It's amazing. So if you can come as much as you can, you're very welcome to come. You will hear, you'll remember strange things at strange times, and it will help your life. Okay, and then that's what we want to do. And I'd like to thank Christina Kasaka and the other Christine and the Vimala, because they've been working very hard on the Sanskrit texts in Nepal. And Mongolia has about, I don't know, 200,000 texts?
600,000 titles.
Yeah, and they did
200 to 600,000. 200,000.
Yeah, and they reopened Mongolia all on their own. I wasn't involved with it. They raised the money, $1 million, and over $1 million. And I'd like to thank you. So you'll have plenty of books to translate. Okay.
Cool that a translation group, I mean, someone who's very interested in translating, gave you money, right? I mean, we could rejoice about that.
Another translation group basically gave us the money because they liked our work. So, just Kensei Rinpoche's group. Yeah.
They gave us the money, huh?
Yeah, they were impressed with our work.
Those kids are all right.
Yeah. Okay, so before we started each text, I thought I would do a progress report on how we're doing on each text, and then maybe we could collate those together in the next day or two. Okay, and when I sell the translation program downstairs, I'd like to mention it. Okay, like I'd like to say when each person is predicted to finish. Okay, some of these texts are long term. Some of these texts will take 20 years, you know. Utpala's text, here's the progress report.
It's supposed to be finished, what, in the end of 2017 or something?
You're actually probably going to be the first text done, I think.
Oh, you got a lot of
You know, once I looked at everything, you're almost, I think you're going to be the first text done. So there's her progress report. I guess we're supposed to speed up, but I don't know. But these things take, you know, it takes 10 years, 15 years to finish a book. And you have to choose wisely because, you know, it may be the only book you ever translate in your life. So, you know, you have to choose very carefully what text you choose. Okay. Yeah, we've done pretty good. Not bad. All right. So here we go. We're in the middle of this is turning out to be kind of like a Siddhanta text. And we're just getting different people's ideas about emptiness. Okay. So we finished the lower schools. Now we're on to the middle way school's idea of emptiness. We reached the independent group's lower middle ways presentation of emptiness. And here we go. Yeah, we're on a reasoning called Chiktudao, which is things are neither one nor many. Okay. All right. What's the most famous thing about the name Chiktudao?
It's a mistake.
People think that the do should.
Yeah, people misspell it and they make the do a locative. Okay. TU instead of DU, which stands for?
As.
Duma.
Oh, do.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. All right, here we go.
Ona, du trenchik la de tedru ki, korwe tsena shardu ki, udu la rekte, nu der nutur ki rektakam marek.
Okay. You want to take a shot? Well, let's go back and find the druk, by the way. Well, one way to do it is this. Oops. Oh, it isn't here, I guess. I guess they didn't mention the druk. Anyway, okay. What they're talking about is 6. What's the 6? Can you guess?
What's the 6?
What's this? What's 6 here?
Oh, the 6 types of particles.
I think it's gonna be. They're talking about molecules, okay? So a molecule would have 6 atoms,
Oh,
and there'd be a 1 here, and then there'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I'm thinking that's probably what he means. It could have been a version of the 6 elements. Like in the Abhidharma, you got to have a certain number of elements in a molecule. So let's leave it for right now. I think they're talking about spatially. 4 directions up and down. Okay. So Dulchen Chik means 1 atom in a molecule. Okay. Should be surrounded, core, by 6 other atoms. Okay. And at that point, Sena, at that time, the eastern particle, which in this room would be something like over here, okay, does it touch the middle particle? Ooh, this ooh means middle. Does it touch the middle particle or not? Okay, so you have 6 particles in a molecule. And, you know, it's the same in science. Ngue means the face of a thing, right? Like this is the face of the TV, okay? And they're talking about the face of the center particle and the face of the eastern particle, okay? Ngue la, der dulki rekam, at the point of contact between the eastern particle and the center particle, is the western particle touching that point. Is this one touching this one, okay? And you'd say automatically, cannot. Right. Here's the middle particle. The western particle's over here, and they make contact over here. And then the eastern particle's over here, and they make contact over here. So the point of contact between the eastern particle and the middle particle cannot be the same place as the point of contact, translate this, between the, just kidding, between the western particle and it cannot be the same place. Okay? Right? Then it's a debate. Does it touch or not? Does the western particle make contact with the point of contact between the central particle and the eastern particle or not? And you'd say automatically, cannot. Okay? Okay? Or there'd be no middle particle. Okay? Regna, if it does touch, udu, central particle, kosar is an important word, meaning the place it occupies, okay? And it's difficult. It's a difficult word. Kosa, okay? Kosa. Say kosa. It means that point in space that it occupies. So the kosa. It can also mean in colloquial Tibetan a position in the government. You know, he's a kosa tobo. He has a high position, okay? Something like that, okay? Kosa na shardul yata. So are you saying that the eastern particle occupies the space in which that the central particle occupies because it's contacting the western particle? Okay? If the western particle, some part of the western particle touches where the eastern particle and the central particle meet, okay, then in the position where the central particle is standing, there must be the western particle also, because it's making contact with the eastern particle. Okay, you okay? Just nod.
Isn't he just saying, I guess, is he just saying that it is the eastern particle? Is that going to
Yeah, no, kosan na yu.
there?
It must be standing in that location. Why? Well, you said it was touching the western particle. Okay, you said it was touching. Okay, then it's in the position of the central particle. The western particle is in the position of the central particle. I agree, which is crazy, right? Then we say there to ten sheng nga yata. Then the other 5 particles must be in the middle position also. Okay, yata. You agreed. Okay, you agreed that one of the 6 was parking in the middle particle's place. So then all the 6 are parking in the middle particle's place. Okay. All right. Kombu means in colloquial Tibetan, and you see it like in the Lama Chupa where the sashi of lapis lazuli has no gombus of dirt on it. It means a clod, a clump of dirt. Okay, so kombu means a clump, like a clump of dirt, or I don't know. My dog brought some clumps in on his back end the other day and sat on my lap. That's a kombu. The dog I babysit. I don't have a dog. Okay. Chembo. So how, then, if the atoms occupy the same space, then if you put 1,000 together, how big does it get? It'll still be as big as one atom. You see, if you accumulate clumps of them, then they'll still just occupy one atom space. Okay. Then you can't build things. You can't build tables and buildings and people. Okay. Chembo, you're misi, impossible. Totally impossible. Then the low kind of indicates what?
We're finished with it.
Yeah, give me a break, I don't want to listen to you anymore. So tello, okay? By the way, you're totally lost, don't worry about it. It's all sinking in. No, it's just open your mind and listen. Don't try to remember everything, okay? Just listen. We just proved modern science is wrong. Okay, really. Things are not coming from elements and atoms. Things are coming from seeds in your mind. That proves it already. That, in the first 10 minutes of SCIM academic session 7, we proved the whole world's ideas wrong. Okay, that's small thing. Okay. Maregna, okay, if the western particle doesn't touch the border between the middle particle and the eastern particle, okay? All right. Udu de la shadul ki rek mareki chani. Then the central particle must have two parts. The part that's touching the eastern particle and the part that's touching the western particle. Okay? If this particle's point of contact with the middle particle doesn't touch the point of contact with that particle's point of contact with the middle particle, then the middle particle must have a left side and a right side. Okay? Got it? Dulki regma reki chani. There must be two parts to the middle particle, point of contact with the western and point of no contact with the western. Okay? Yata. Why? Delasha dulki rekching nup dulki marekbe chashi yubecha, because there is a section cha. There is a section of the middle particle which is making contact with the eastern particle, but is not making contact with the western particle. Okay? Got it? And that means an atom is not the smallest thing. It's not a tum. It is tum. Tum means divisible in ancient Latin and Sanskrit. Greek. So atom, it must not be indivisible. It must be divisible. There must be a left side and a right side. Okay. Duna chaches dupo. Well, if you agree, then the atom must have parts. Okay. Must chache means has parts. Okay. By the way, I'll ask you a question. The original argument is, things can't exist because they neither exist as one thing nor they exist as many things. Now, he split the reason into two pieces. The reason was what? They are neither one thing nor are they two things, more than one. They're neither one. Things don't exist the way you think. Why? Because they're not one thing and they're not more than one thing. Which one is he disproving with this argument? Because he split the reason into two. Yeah. We're on the one thing. We're on the first part of the famous reason. Things aren't one.
But it's the second part of the first part of the reason, because we talked about things.
You can say that, but Chitan Duma Kanu Duma Dubecha, Chitan Duma Kanu Duma Dubecha. We're on the Chik. We're on it. They don't exist as one. Things don't exist as one.
When we learned this originally, we did it with two particles instead of, 6 and then one in the middle. I mean, is there some it seems very complicated. Is there some reason why we're doing the...
I think he's trying to do space. He's trying directions.
Okay.
And maybe it's because he wants to lead up to... he's going to, I believe your text, he's going to go through parts to physical things, mental things, then he's going to go to unchanging things, which includes space and emptiness, and I think he's setting you up for space later. So, yeah.
Is it something to do with the traditional presentation of an atom? Like it has 6 parts around it?
It could be Stanley's Abhidharma presentation, but I'd be surprised if he threw it into a Rangyupa presentation, because that particular Abhidharma view is not held by other schools.
Okay.
Unless they want to pick on somebody,
Okay.
which we are doing. Okay. Duna Chache Situbo. So he has Lung or Rick?
He has Rick.
Yeah, he has proved logically the idea wrong. Now he's going to Lung, which means scriptural authority. If you don't believe my logic, here's a sacred book. Here's a scripture that says the same thing. Okay, please read.
Deni topmeki nishu pale druki chikchar charwana charakdu cha cha drukir drukpo da kyango chikna gongbuang du tren sam du ingir.
Do you want to? No, you're fine. Do you want to go at that? Do you want to try? Oh, by the way, let me introduce Nishupa. Nishupa is a famous...
Called the 20...
It's his book, right?
Is it?
Asanga. Sorry. Yeah. 20 verses. This is a famous mind-only text, I believe. So, he's throwing out a mind-only text. That's okay. Okay. The 20 verses of Asanga. Some of those short texts are crucial to the mind-only school. They are all the mind-only school really has, except for a sutra called What I Really Meant. Okay. Okay. Tu ki chikcha. Jar means joined together, stuck together. Like
If the six, no. What is char?
chikcha all at once, all together,
Oh,
all together.
but what is the key then?
If the six stick together,
oh, if
okay,
the six
stick together, okay, then
roughly,
then the charabdul, which means smallest particle, has truk tra. The smallest part, he's making a pun, has six. Then the most minute particle has 6 minute parts. He's making a joke. Okay, the most minute particle has 6 minute parts, right? It's a joke because minute means doesn't have parts. Okay, all right. Okay, so the first problem is if it's 6 are stuck together, then the one in the middle, for example, has 6 different sides that are making contact with 6 different atoms. Got it? But Drupa kosa chigna.
Position.
Kosa chigna.
Yeah. But there's only.
So the first half of this verse, it's relating to the 6 in different positions. Okay? And the second half of the verse is relating to the 6
And as one position.
in one position. Okay? But if it's the first case that we talked about, if all 6 particles are existing in the place where the middle particle exists, well then, kombu is only, sam here means just the size of. Sam here means just the size of. So what's it mean?
It can only have to be one particle.
Yeah, then when you make a molecule, or you put 1,000 atoms together, it's going to be the size of a single atom. You choose. What do you want? Your partless atom. Your partless thing. Give me a break. Okay, got it? This is a real Tenger, right? He says, oh, so your partless particle has parts. Or you can't make things out of it. Oh, which one was it? Okay, got it? He's being, this is Prasangika. This is higher middle way's favorite system. Oh, this Japanese restaurant's the best one around. Oh, so the rice wasn't soggy, and or was it that the guy made it within an hour? Okay? Got it? Now, there's a rule in this class. If you don't understand anything, just go. Veronica says I shouldn't say that because it's sarcastic.
Wow.
yeah,
You're not going to have a lot to say.
Okay, that's the logic. That's the logic. According to, this is a nasty mistake. And Ben did a great thing. I bowed down. I don't know how you did it. I hope you used words comparison utility. He compared our bad input of Chonin Lama to a new input of Chonin Lama, and he made very cogent notes for me, which rescued me in a few places. So if you guys can do that, those of you especially who have Chonin Lama books, the first they were all burned when the monastery was bombed. All the copies were burned, and then we found one copy in Beijing, and it was a Xerox of a bad copy. And we did the best we could. So that's what you have. Now it's pretty common. You can find it in many places. There's I hope there's copies in Mongolia. We found a copy in St. Petersburg.
She's inputting the collected books again.
Oh, okay. Anyway, it would be if you have a Chonin Lama text, talk to him, just learn how to compare it. And then show me the differences, because it may be important. Okay? All right. And I went to the 20. It is in the mind-only school section of the Tinger, okay? And I think it's actually one of the most famous mind-only texts. It's very popular in China. It's one of the only, I've been digging, 75 books made it to China. It's not 900 and something. It's 900 fascicles. 75 books are the basis of Chinese Buddhism. Tibet had 3,700. Okay, so, this is one that became a very big foundation of Chinese Buddhism. Okay, so it's important in China. Okay. And as I recall, it's pretty correct. Okay. The reading is the reading. You can't do much to this reading. Okay, it's just pretty mechanical. You can't mess it up much. They didn't mess it up. Okay, thank goodness. Don't forget they're writing in a monastery where they might not have a copy of the Tinger. There was no Tinger when I got to Sarah.
Wow.
I bought it. Okay, all right, here we go. Please read.
Den min du chela chame ni si te gan sa gan du so lang ni si pe.
He started with physical matter, and now he's going on to. Yeah, so anyone who'd finished DCI level 7 knows that there's 3 kinds of changing things in the universe, which are
Physical, mental, and changing things.
physical, mental, and the things in between. Like inna is between, and mental seeds is between. And he's going to give one other example. Okay. Here we go. Demin Duce. So, by the way, I believe the Den Min is Suk Den Mayan and Sem Den Mayan. Den Min.
Okay.
Suk. Yeah.
Doesn't
No,
have-
it's the first one relates to Suk and the second one relates to mind. You see, it doesn't have form and it's not mind. So it's called a not have not.
Form and it's not.
Yeah, it doesn't have form and it's not mine. And it's always important to say, but it does exist and it changes. You have to add that. Okay. Duce la chame. Partless, no parts. Misi. Not impossible. Even those middle kinds of changing things, people, mental seeds, is what we talk about in DCI. Those things cannot exist without parts. Impossible. Misi. Why? Misite. Well, it's not possible with people. That's what we talk about in DCI. Come. Or it's not possible with time. Now, different schools have different ideas about time. So I usually don't use it in DCI as an example of the middle category. But he did. Okay, that's okay. That's his book. So he kind of said, if it doesn't apply to people and it doesn't apply to time, then it can't apply to this category. Okay, it can't apply. This category basically has 2 parts: people and time. Okay, concept of time. Okay, and the subject of time, if someone had 5 years to write a book, that'd be an extraordinary book. Because the subject of time in Buddhism is extremely fascinating. And the Abhidharma's presentation of time is quite sophisticated.
Call it an extensive history of time.
Okay, now he's going to break it into 2 parts. I'll prove it with people, and then I'll prove it with time. Okay? So he's going to take people. Dumbo, go ahead.
Because first of all, Dumbo der Tao.
Good, nice towel. She went up.
Gan sak ngan du dren tu me yen lak so kicha dang chepe che.
Okay. There's 4 classic positions of the human body. He's only mentioned 2 of them, Duke and Deng.
Rising.
And we're going to have an analysis text.
Rising coming
Four
up.
types of
Duk as opposed to Deng.
Oh, Duke is laying down
No, Duk is to sit,
to stay.
and Deng is to be standing up. As in,
Dengbu.
okay, there's a vowel called Dengbu because it's standing up. Okay, so, and usually they say going and coming or something like that. There's laying down. Anyway, and then they divide two other parts of the human body.
To the top of the head.
The top upper half and the lower half. Okay. Serome, the lower part. Gyute Tantra College. Metsoma, prostitute, sells the lower part. Okay. So te and me means upper part of the body and lower part of the body. Okay. Yenlak. Classically the 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As opposed to the body. Okay. Yeah, everything except the trunk is called the yenlak. So te must mean the trunk, you see. Upper part and lower part of the trunk and the 5 limbs in classic. Yeah. So kichada chebeche. So person has, but it's interesting. So what's he said? The person has parts because they have.
Body parts.
Well, that's easy because their body has parts. But what about the Dukdeng?
They have positions.
Yeah, they have positions. There's a sitting person. There's a standing person. It's interesting.
Strange.
Almost in time.
Totally.
You see, almost in time. Okay, it's very sexy. Very cool. Okay, why does a person have parts? Well, they got arms and legs and head and all that. Yeah, but they also stand and they also sit, meaning different positions, implying different times also. There's the nick of yesterday, there's the nick of today. So a person has part. Okay, got it? It's very interesting proof, in my opinion. Okay, he's concluded the concept. Yeah, go ahead.
de la misite, le ni dawa,
Ndawa,
ndawa,
ndawa.
ndawa,
Good.
ndawa ni shak,
Shot.
shak ni de,
Two,
te,
two, umlaut. Two,
te,
yeah.
te ni nga, chi soki, chatang, chepe,
Human dictionary, shot.
24-hour period.
Good. Okay, we would say day in English. Okay, so translate.
It's also impossible with time.
To be partless.
A year. Years of months, months of days, days of time.
Yeah. This do means period of the day. This do means period of the day. Okay, to the 6 watches of the day. Okay, so don't take it as time. It's the watch of the day.
Watch the day.
In ancient English, we say watch, like morning, middle part of the day, evening, and then early night, middle night, late night. So these are called tutuk in Tibetan.
Would you try to get away with hours?
No, because then you have to split the periods of the day into earlier periods of the day and later periods of the day. Okay. Or sorry, later morning, earlier morning. Okay. Later evening, early evening. Yeah. Okay. Got it? So early evening, later evening. All right. Like that. Okay. Now, this is beautiful. I mean, this is, if you're going to teach the part thing, just use these 2 pages for the rest of your life and you're covered. Okay, really. It's the most cogent, what do you call it when it's short? Concise. Cogent and concise and succinct. Yeah. Okay, here you go. Go. By the way, illegally, sometimes they say dunte. There shouldn't be a prenasal on a second column. But sometimes they say dunte. If you care. Dunte. Good. Mite. I miss Phil. What's the story?
He didn't reply to.
He said he couldn't come because he couldn't sit in his chairs.
I believe he doesn't really want to leave home right now.
Okay, maybe he's in pain or something. Okay, go ahead. He's having trouble sitting. Okay, mitete.
Te yang mitete, te rangi kek chik na ma dangdrel we chatang chebeche.
Okay, good. It's the same argument as the 6 parts of an atom, really. But here we go. So du ta, what's the ta here mean?
The end.
But what's it mean with du ta, kechik?
When you die?
Which is the smallest piece of time.
Oh.
The ta here means which is the smallest piece of krai paruski, the edge, you know, pakraini, miera, the most tiny piece of time. Okay, du ta means edge. Okay, kechi made. Chame yinam yamna. Now you may wonder to yourself, what?
If it doesn't have parts,
No, yinam,
If you think to yourself.
does it have parts? Okay, is it partless or not? The smallest amount of time, the smallest amount of instant, which classically in Buddhism is what? In Abhidhamma.
1/65 of a.
Yeah, 1/65 of a finger snap. Divide finger snap into 65 parts. That's called Dute Kechima. Now, you may think to yourself, can you split that? You know, is it also partless or can you split it? By the way, the whole argument is supposed to make you get uncomfortable with the way we think about things. Okay, it means the way we think about things is completely wrong. If they existed out there, or you could say smallest part, blah blah blah. But if they're coming from us, you can't say that anymore. You see, it's supposed to make you feel uncomfortable. You're supposed to freak out. Everyone in this room should be screaming. You know, there's no cars, there's no people, there's no buildings. You know, it's supposed to make you think, wow, what? You know, well, what's going on? Where's it coming from? It's supposed to make you break your way of thinking. Okay. Yinam yana, deyang mite.
That's not tenable.
Yeah, that's not. You can't say there's the smallest piece of time. You can't say there's a partless piece of time. Why? Rangi kechik nama, because there's an instant before it. Okay, there's an instant before that instant. Okay, and do they make contact? You see, Delway Cha, is there a place where they make contact? Okay, or does 501 lead to 513? You tell me. Does 502 come after 501? Or does 501 can lead to anything? Because Drell means, are they connected? You know? Got it? Does 501 suddenly become 513 the next moment? No. Oh, so there must be some connection between 501 and 502. Yeah. Oh, then there has to be a front part of 501 and a back part of 502, right? Okay, got it? It's very interesting. Okay, it must have a part of it which is connected to the moment before. But then you get into the 6 atoms problem. Okay, it's very beautiful. It's very important. Okay, go ahead. Oh, no, it doesn't have any connection to its previous moment. Yeah, the guy said. Yeah, it does. Translate.
We're done with this.
No. Not yet.
So,
because it can't join.
because it can't
Birth
join.
itself. It's impossible.
It can't come into being without the
moment before it.
the moment before it. Okay? You can't say there's not a particular moment connected to it just before, because if that's possible, it wouldn't happen. Okay? It would just pop out from the moment in 1854. You see what I mean? Really? Okay? It has to have a relationship to a previous moment, or it can't happen. Got it?
Yep.
Okay. He's finished
Time.
physical things. He's finished changing things which are neither physical or mental, and now he's going on to mental things. Okay. Then he'll be done with changing things, and then he's probably going to go to unchanging things, and he might do unchanging things which are not emptiness and unchanging things which are emptiness. Okay. Okay.
Shepala chame misite, shepa chila ke chaki.
K-pop.
Oh, sorry. Ke paki shepa tang. Dun tun dang dun mi tun soki yewe cha yudla.
Go. Shepala chame misi.
It's impossible
Good.
to have partless, or the mind is also
Good.
impossible.
Even the mind must have parts. Even awareness must have parts. Okay. Why? And I like this division. I like his division. Tell me why.
Because it's talking about social chaos and
Yeah, exactly. You're doing good today. You must have had a good vacation. Yeah, because what?
The minds of those who've not seen it.
And then the way he chooses to divide mind is so beautiful to me. You know, he's like, you got minds that saw emptiness, and you got minds that didn't see emptiness. And that's the first division he can think of. He didn't say good mood, bad mood, you know, stupid, smart. When he thinks about dividing mind, he's like, oh, the mind which saw emptiness and the mind which didn't see emptiness directly. Okay, he divides all minds into that. It's very beautiful.
Do you want to use mind here or awareness? Or
I think awareness is more correct. Yeah. Okay, but he says he gives you an alternate division, Dunten and Dunbitan. Wait, who was working on Dunten? You were.
Dunton.
Yeah, Chechen Tunangwa.
Yeah. So like
No, don't call it harmony Chechens.
That's how I remember.
We got to reserve that language for other
This
translation
is an
groups.
object that we agree upon and an object that we don't agree upon.
Yeah, and what it means is mistaken and non-mistaken. Duntun means the state of its object matches what it thinks about the object. So duntun means you could call it harmony object if you want to translate in another place instead of this school.
We have a different word for that. But we were talking about tundan.
Yeah, tell me. There's a sexy word.
For, what was it? No,
Discrepancy.
Discrepancy.
I mean, you could go there, but
Chinam? Was it? No.
there's a ninam.
Nina, yeah.
Yeah, there's a discrepancy between the way thing is and the way you think it is. You know, does the coffee have sugar? Yeah, it tastes sweet. You know, but there isn't any sugar. It's just the milk is. You see what I mean? So that's dun mitten. I misperceived the object.
Okay.
Okay, it means the object ain't the way the Shepa thinks. And then there's Shepas which are correct about the object. So we could divide all Shepas into those two, etc., etc. He says sok sok sok. Okay, you could divide it many ways. Okay. Yeah, well,
division.
yeah, you can divide it. Even one person's mind over the course of a day has duntuns and dunmitons, you know, times when it's seeing the object correctly and times when it's not seeing the object correctly, okay? So, and it will shift from one to the other. So that mind has divisions. You can't say it's partless. Okay, cool.
Sometimes it's.
Oh, by the way, to clarify, that last division was in general, all consciousnesses, and now he's going to.
The mind stream and the
You have
civil
one
being.
person.
Yeah, please read.
kansa chik tu ki shepa lang sel mi sel tang tu ki rimpe chap tu matang shepa ke chik tama yang lang ki ke chik nga ma dang drelwe cha dang chepe chu.
Good. He's got like 3 examples here. Kansa chik.
The mind of
Mind of one person.
Now let's just limit ourselves to one person's mind. Ki-gyu, kansa chiki-gyu. The mind in the being of one person, technically. The mind in the being of one person. The gyu here means the being, not that's mind. Okay? The mind in the person of a single person. Okay? Lang. There's sel mi sel.
Clear or unclear?
Yeah, you can be having a clear meditation, you can be having a foggy meditation. And by the way, somebody else's text is going to have this soon. Or Duki Rimbe Cha.
steps.
What's Rimba? Like lam. Yeah, no, moments of successive moments.
Right.
Okay, it can be divided into the successive moments. Okay, and even the Shepa Kechiktama
even one moment of consciousness.
No, the final moment of. By the way, usually it's there's two kind of Keichik-tama in Shippa. One is before you die, and one is before you become a Buddha. These are the classic Keichik-tamas of Shippa, of mind. Actually, Shippa has no Keichik-tama. There is no final moment of mind. It's eternal. Okay, it goes on forever. So, just in general terms, you can say the last moment of your thoughts while you were drinking coffee or something. Okay, Keichik-tama. That itself, young, even that one, the final moment of mind, the final moment that you're in this room and aware of the room before you walk out, for example, that has Ranki Keichik-nama, Dandawe Cha.
That's connected to it. That's a part that's connected.
It has the front end and the back end of the moment. Okay, there's the front end and the back end of the moment. Okay,
5 minutes.
cool. So get used to this idea of front end and back end in time. Of a moment has a back end that touches the past. It has a front end which touches the future. And never the two will meet. Here we go. This is kind of what I've been waiting for. Yeah, and he gives 3 beautiful examples. Okay, what's the Dumache?
Unchanging things.
A thing which exists, which doesn't change. You kind of have to say it that way. Yeah, a thing which exists but doesn't change, or which is not caused. Okay, which is not caused. Okay, it's impossible for it to be partless, and he gives 3 examples. So he's brave. It's brave to give 1. And he's like, I can give you 3. Most people can't name 3 unchanging things. But he's like, I can prove to you with 3 different kinds of unchanging. What's the 3 examples?
Space, cessation, and isness.
Yeah, and suchness. Okay, so he takes empty space, and then he takes the cessation of a negative quality. The truth of the ending of a negative quality. And then he takes emptiness. Okay. And the second is pretty abhidharma. Okay. It's gonna last forever. Or it has no cause. Okay. All right. Now he's gonna talk about one by one. Okay. Dumbo der ta. Go.
Dumbo der ta. Nam kala tok cheki su rakpatang drama drel chi gi dang.
Yeah.
Charnuki.
Yeah, go ahead. Yewe.
Yewe. Shakpe chatang. Sharki boompe.
Pum. Pum. Boom means 100,000. Boom means 100,000. Pum. Pum. It's a big.
Kong tong to kyap ching nuki pum pe. Kong tong lama kyape chatsok yupe.
Yeah, downstairs we're going to study the 4 kinds of space this term, and it's a meditation that we do, and when we want to talk about emptiness, to get people's mind used to what emptiness is not. And there's a popular idea of empty space as the place, like if I buy a new refrigerator, right, I have to measure it. Why? Yeah, it has to fit in the space between the 2 counters. So I have to measure the space between the 2 counters, and then when I go to the store, I have to measure the refrigerator. Okay, so there's a way of teaching empty space, which is saying the space between Michael and the table, the distance between Michael and the table. But this is not empty space, and it irritates me when they use it. Okay, it's not exactly correct. That's a wrong idea of space. Space is the place the refrigerator's in after you shove it between the counters. You see, it's not the distance between 2 things. You see what I mean? So I object to this, using this for Dumache, but some people do it. So I'm just saying it's not totally comfortable to me. But so I'm doing the last one first, by the way. Kongtong means the empty space, but not in the sense of where the refrigerator is standing. It means the place between two physical things. You see, and then there's a kongtong inside a glass. You see a kongtong in here, the space between the two edges. That's not empty space. So I object to this one personally. It's misleading, but he used it. Okay. Yeah. So this last one, which irritates me, is the empty place inside a vase, which is sitting over there. So the empty space inside Ines' jar and the empty space inside my jar. But that's not empty space. Empty space is the place the jar is in. It's not the space between the edges of the jar, okay? But he's using it as an example. Okay. By the way, if he had said a gongbu of iron, I would have been comfortable. If he had said a clump of iron, the space that her clump of iron is taking and the space that my clump of iron is taking, I'd be comfortable. But he has chosen an example which is misleading, implying that the space between the two edges is space. And it's not, okay? I object to his example. Okay, that's all. We'll go back to it later, okay? We'll stop here.
Using it here
As a Dumache.
subtly, because in the film school isn't quite right. Like,
I think it's just a popular misconception among writers, you know. And unfortunately, it's a very popular misconception among students. You know, I struggle in DCI. The reason I made a force-based meditation is that I want to make sure they know it's not space. You know, okay, stopped here, 1:16 and 19. Nice. So if you ever have to teach, you know, this part thing, now you know where to go. And it has happened in my own life that I am frequently now drawing from your translations. I'll take chunks of his translation. Yours came up somewhere else. Yeah, somebody else was talking about, your text was talking about the debate between a detailer and somebody.
Yep.
So I just went to his text and took out his detailer stuff and put it in your text. And this kind of, what do you call it? Illegal mixture of royalties?
Abomination.
No, there's a bad word for it.
Incest.
Yeah, this kind of incest is going to be more and more popular in our group. Okay. Rira Binshin Yende Yembadi Sangye Shindu Migde Uargi Joku Namda Shinga Chuparsho Idam Guru Ratna Mandala Kamya Yatayami Di Kewo Kun Sanam Yeshe Zozo Shin Sanam Yeshe Lechowe Tambar Kunyi Tobar Sho Ahum